All right, guys, we're back with another flight simulator video. I'm down here in Key West, NAS Key West, because I got to do a flight down here. Well, we was down here for about I want to say 2 or 3 weeks. I think almost a month, maybe in Key West for a attachment. And while I was down in Key West, I got the opportunity to do a backseat ride with um, with a pilot when I was down there. When I was in the Navy. Now they do not have the exact plane on here. If they do, I guess you'd have to pay for it or download it or something, or at least the same type. So I did something that was kind of more closer to what I guess the aircraft would have been. It was a dual, a front back seater. This is definitely not an aircraft I'm in, but I'm wanted to kind of just retake the flight almost. I'm not going to land. I'm not land back at this runway. May or may not. Depends. We actually ended up back at Key West because I mean this is where we took off from, and I got to do this flight, and I'm going to try to do some of the same things that I got to do while I was in the air. So we'll see how it goes. I've not flown this aircraft before, so I have no idea what to expect. It's an interesting little aircraft, and it definitely can. I can feel the wind blowing in this thing, or I can see the wind. I can't feel nothing. It's a game, but we're going to take off here. I guess I need to find out where the parking brake is on this. Usually, oh wait, I clicked. Oh, there it was. Man, is that hidden? Because it's off. Wow, you can't see it down there. That's insane. Let's back in the seat. All right, let's take off here. What was cool about this flight was that I mean we didn't get very far. I mean they were like out into the water, and it was so beautiful being able to do this, and he gave me the opportunity to take control and get to fly a little bit myself and learn some of the things that they uh, they do. So, for example, I mean, one of the first things he taught me to do was like a roll, and which was fun to do in plane because you kind of feel like you're losing control a little bit when you're just on the top side like that right there. I mean we done it pretty slow, but he did teach me how to do that, and I don't know if I can do it in the plane or not. I don't have enough, but do a loop. Taught me how to do a loop.
124.7 Dragon 4887.
We had quite a bit of speed for this
Miami
little aircraft.
Center, Dragon 4887, 3,600 feet.
And we taught me how to fly inverted. That was a fun because you're kind of like you're hanging by your straps basically doing this. That was fun to do.
133.5 Dragon 4887.
But we're just kind of cruising around, and I mean he's teaching me how to do different things, and he tells me he tells me to take control and let me do whatever I want to do. And I remember looking off to my right, and I just look down and I see this boat kind of sailing in the water, and we're not this high. We're not nowhere near 4,000. I think I was closer down to probably like 1,000 maybe off of the deck. So I come down. Like right. It's probably like that. And I see it, and I just see this thing, and I'm thinking to myself, because this thing has on the side of it, or this aircraft I'm flying in right now don't, but on it had Navy, and I'm just looking down and I'm seeing this boat, and I'm just like, I'm gonna circle this thing. and I just did like 5 circles around this thing. So I'm thinking in my mind, this guy's probably got some kind of illegal substance on his boat, because they start like panicking and running around on the boat. It was just fun to toy with them. We get up here, and we do he teaches me a few different tricks. I don't know if I can do this in this aircraft. I'll be honest with you, I probably would crash if I did it. But I want to do this as something as close as I can do what I did in the aircraft. So I'm going to start getting some altitude. And that's basically what we did. We climbed, I think it was to 8,000 feet. If I'm not mistaken, it's been years. I'm talking, it was back in, what, 2011, I think, when I did this? Yeah, it was in 2011. We went down to Key West, do our detachment. Now, I did see somewhere in the water when I was down here, and I have no idea where this place is at, but there is this, it's really cool. You can probably find it on Google Maps if you look down it towards Key West, but there's an island, and on this island is a huge house, and it's a helicopter pad. That's all there is to it. So, like, there's all there is on that island. So someone has quite a bit of money in that location. But we kind of circled it a few times. There was nobody. It didn't look like there was anybody on the island at that time. But yeah, it was just a random mansion on this. I mean, it wasn't a big island either. It was big enough for the house and the helo pad. That was it. I mean, it was not big at all. And we're climbing at this point in our flight. This flight maybe lasted maybe an hour at most. We're not going to take that long in the journey that we're on today, but it was probably an hour at most that we were flying, and we had done a few different maneuvers, split S, barrel roll, aileron roll, a loop. We had did a few different tricks, and I was fine. Like nothing affected me. They had the pilots in my command were all making jokes about the day before, when they were like, make sure you eat peanut butter or peanut butter crackers before you go up. And I'm like, why would I want to do that? Shouldn't I have nothing on my stomach? He's like, no, you don't want nothing on it. You gotta you're going to eat something. So if you eat something, eat peanut butter. And I was like, why would I eat peanut butter? And they were like, well, it's because, it tastes the same going down as it does coming back up. So they were all just like basically saying that I was going to get sick. So I was feeling pretty good at this point, We had done all the tricks, not having an issue whatsoever. And we climbed to 8,000. He said, now this next trick that we do, you're probably going to get sick on. And basically we climbed to 8,000. He pitches it nose up. Goes straight up until you hear the engine start having some problems, and the plane comes tumbling down in this manner right here. And he's talking just fine, like this is no big deal. And to him, it probably wasn't. But it was pretty violent, because your head's going one way, your eyes are going another way. And he's talking fine, and he gets the aircraft engine going back and pulls right out of it like it was completely nothing. And at that point, I had vomit in my throat. It had started creeping up. I could feel it, and I was definitely feeling sick. And he calls back to me, says, "How you feeling after that?" And he was talking normal, like it was no big deal to him the whole entire time. My head's spinning one way, my eyes are going the other way, and by the time my eyes go the other way, my head was going the other way. But it made me completely nauseous. And I told him, "Sir, I'm feeling pretty sick." He says, "You know what?" He says, I'll help you out. And I said, "Oh gosh, what do you got planned for me now?" And he's like, "We're going to start pulling some G's." And I'm thinking to myself, because I've never pulled anything like G wise, any major G's or anything, so I didn't know what to expect. I thought that would make me sick even more. I thought he was just pulling some more tricks on me. And I said, "Will that not make me sick, sir?" And he said, "No, no, it'll help you out." So he then goes into a steep turn and starts pulling back on the stick. And we then start pulling about 4 G's is what we end up pulling on this turn. And I feel the sweat and vomit, or I feel the vomit that's in my throat, then go into my stomach. And the sweat that was on top of my head now is at my feet. And he was right. I didn't have vomit in my throat anymore. I felt pretty good. It was not bad at all. It was an interesting experience to pull 4 Gs. I know it's not 8 Gs or 9 Gs or whatever, but I got to pull 4 Gs in a plane with no G suit or anything. So that was an interesting feeling, and it was an amazing day. I didn't throw up. I was very proud of myself. They had stuffed in my overalls, I guess, flight suit, whatever you want to call it. They stuffed 3 vomit bags, 2 in my leg pockets and 1 in my chest pocket, just in the instance if I did get sick. And they told me, "You better use your vomit bag, because if you don't, you will be out here cleaning up this mess." So I got to, I didn't have to use them at all. I kept those bags as souvenirs, basically, when I got back. And when we got back, we did basically a hot seat. There was another guy that got to do a backseat ride too, so they put him in, and he went up, and I waited for him to return. I sat around, and he done his, 30 minutes to an hour, whatever we was up there for. It felt a lot shorter than probably it was. I mean, because I had so much fun. I mean, sliding back the cockpit and feeling the wind, rush by as you're flying up in the air was just, it's a different feeling being able to control the aircraft, and it's a freeing moment to feel something like that. So, it probably was a lot longer than what it felt like. It felt like 5 minutes, but it was an amazing experience. So I'm waiting for him to return from his trip, and when they land, I got too fast. On my way in, on our approach, we was coming in, and this E2C Hawkeye cuts us off, and we were only like a couple hundred feet off the deck. He cuts us off, and we get in its basically, we call it jet wash, basically. And when we're doing this about 200 feet off the deck, and he has to pull back out of it, and he was furious. The pilot was. He was mad. He had said some choice words, and to the ATC, and he was definitely not happy. But we did do a go around and come back and land, and after that, the other guy goes up, and I wait for him to return. And when he finally does return, he gets the cockpit, throws back, he jumps out, and he makes a mad dash to the nearest dumpster, and he's just up left and right. So I'm guessing what that flat spin, basically what it was, got him, and it definitely made him sick. It was a very sickening feeling, tumbling back to the deck. Something I had never experienced before, and I'll probably never will ever get to experience it again. I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing, but it was the flight was fun. One memory I'll keep with me for the rest of my life is getting to fly in the back seat. And I think the aircraft was it was a trainer plane. It was a prop, the Navy's trainer prop. It's like a T 38 or something like that. I can't remember what the actual aircraft was. If I find a picture of it, I'll throw it up here on the in the video, and I'll throw a picture of me in the back seat of it, because it was just it's an amazing experience I got to do, and I figured I'd share the story. And actually, this runway, we did hit this runway landing. We did a touch and go on this runway. On the way back, we hit it. It was cool. And to say that was probably one of the biggest highlights in my Navy career, is saying the least, because I think that was definitely, that whole time in Key West was an interesting experience, and this one was amazing. So I figured I'd share that with you. We're going to land here at this runway. We're not going to do a touch and go. We're actually just going to go ahead and land. But I just want to share that with y'all. I'm not completely dumb when it comes to flying. I got to do some flying when I was in, although I was not a pilot, but I have a huge love for aviation, and I wish I could be able to do this on a daily basis, be able to fly aircraft. Being able to fly was always something I loved to do, even if I wasn't in control of the aircraft, and getting the ability to be able to pilot a little bit was an amazing experience, and something I hope I'll get to do again in the future.